Building an almost $50 million property portfolio is simpler than you think. You really only need three things. The first thing you need is time. The second thing that you need is capital. And the third thing that you need is income. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you combine all three of those things. So this client has come to us. He's a business owner. He's got an owner-occupier property worth $2.3 million. He's got $500,000 of capital to use. He's got a strong business with strong income. For a 3-year period, we go on an aggressive accumulation plan where we accumulate 5 assets worth $8 million. We also accelerate those assets by doing value-add renovations, which then gives us the equity to purchase the next property. So in 2025, he just starts with his owner-occupier property and the equity that he has in that property. You can see total savings is just under $600,000, of which he's happy to use $500,000 of that to put towards the first transaction. By the time we get to 2028, we've gone from $2.5 million in assets to a $20 million portfolio. Our debt has also increased from $1.8 million to $13 million, and our equity position has increased from $750,000 to $7.2 million. We've essentially grown our position by about 800% in 3 years. And then from 2028 to 2040, which is a 12-year period, we then allow the portfolio to grow. We've calculated a 7% growth rate per annum. And while the portfolio is growing, we're also decreasing our debt to increase our equity position and also increase our surplus cash flow, which is coming off the portfolio. And as you can see, from 2028 to 2040, our portfolio grows from $20 million to being worth over $46 million. We didn't acquire one asset during that period of time. We just simply let the portfolio grow at 7% per annum. The really incredible thing is during that same period of time where our portfolio more than doubled, our equity position has grown from $7 million to $34 million. Which means our portfolio value has doubled, but our equity position has almost 5x'd. The reason that happens is because every dollar of growth we get out of the portfolio during the incubation phase is essentially dropping straight to the bottom line as gross profit because we're not increasing our debt any further. You can see from 2028, the portfolio grew from $20,500,000 to $46 million in 2040. That $26 odd million goes straight to equity. And then on top of that, we've decreased our debt over that period of time by about $1.1 million. And we've also increased our cash position by our surplus cash flow going into our offset account, which has grown our savings from $500,000 odd in 2025 to being worth $3.3 million in 2040, which means our actual debt position is about $9 million. Now, if we compare the situation of buying our investment properties and growing our portfolio to $46 million versus just buying the owner-occupier property and paying it down to zero over the same period of time, there's a $39 million difference. The owner-occupier property, if we just held it and paid it down to zero, would be worth about $7 million, and we'd have $2.3 million in cash, which means our net position is about $9.4 million versus our net position in this scenario being $37 million. And now this is the part where it gets juicy. This client has a passive income target of $1 million, which needs to be inflation adjusted out to 2040, which is his retirement age, which is actually closer to $1.5 million in money versus the $1 million he'd need today. And that's because inflation devalues our money. Now, by the time we get to 2040, we're sitting on $35 million plus of equity, but the portfolio is only producing $600,000 worth of passive income. And the reason for that is because all of our properties are residential. They cost a lot of money to hold. As you can see in our running costs line item there, they cost $240,000 a year. Plus we're still carrying some debt. So now we've got the equity. We actually go through and sell those residential properties down. We keep the owner-occupier property, which is debt-free. And then we roll the capital into a cash flow producing asset, which we choose to be commercial, which is this $20 million asset here we buy in 2041. So as you can see, we sell all of the residential properties down and then replace it with a $20 million commercial property, which is debt-free. And now we've got a portfolio worth $27.5 million, which is made up of a $20 million commercial asset and a $7.5 million debt-free owner-occupier property. And what that then does is it takes our total passive income from $600,000 to $1.26 million, which is more than double. And we have a portfolio value which is actually lower than what we did have before we sold the residential assets down. And this is the period that we call consolidation and evolution, which essentially means consolidating down the portfolio, clearing out our debt, paying our tax, and then using all of the net capital growth that's left over to reinvest into cash flow producing assets, which we call evolution assets, which means we now carry no debt and we're in the stage of our life where it's all about income and lifestyle. And by doing that, we've doubled our passive income from $600,000 to $1.26 million. And that, my friends, is how you retire on over $1 million a year by leveraging capital, time, and income to the best of your ability.